Who will be the most high-profile player to get cut at the end of camp on the 49ers?
That is a really tough one. I think it's going to be Ross Dwelly.
Woo! He is so high profile. Him and his 4 catches every year. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's high profile.
Use him. They might as well.
I would say Jordan Matthews put on 20 pounds. Jordan Matthews was like 215. He's like 238 now. He looks good. He looks really good. Yeah. And I just think that Jordan Matthews has better wheels than Ross Dwelly. He's more of a speed threat. The NFL's always going to speed, and more speed after that. And I just think if the Niners want to add a speed element to their offense, they did it with Danny Gray. They did it with Ty Davis Price, and they could do it again by having, Kittle and Warner. And instead of going with Dwelly, go with Jordan Matthews. And I think Jordan Matthews, if he can, I don't know if he can maintain that weight. Some guys put on weight in the offseason. Once they start running around, it all falls off of them, especially if they're a smaller guy trying to get bigger. This guy looked like he put on extra weight and kept his speed. And so if that's the case, Jordan Matthews as a movement tight end may have a better career in the NFL going forward than he had as a wide receiver with, possession receivers, what he was before. I think that's, and sometimes putting on weight is not a 1-year ad. And it took him some time, and he's kind of been in kind of NFL limbo. And I know a lot of people going thinking, my God, Jordan Matthews is a borderline NFL player at all. But what I saw in minicamp was a guy who was closer to 240 and making catches down the field and still running like a receiver, but with the added upper body strength of a tight end. So I'm looking for Jordan Matthews to show him to probably bump Dwelly.
So the fact that you think Ross Dwelly is going to be the most high-profile cut is means that you're saying the Niners are not going to cut Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, I don't. I don't think that. I think Shanahan's made it clear they're not going to cut him, and I don't think Shanahan he wouldn't have gone down, doubled down, tripled down on this take that he's not going to be cut if he really thought that he was going to have to fall back on that later on. And that's a statement that you make when you know you got to trade, right?
I guess. Or secretly, he wants the safety net for 1 more year. For 1 year. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'm going to go with Colton McKivitz. I mean, it's not that big of a name, but he started left tackle week 18. I just don't. I mean, unless they keep. I don't think there's a spot for him. They got Spencer Burford. They got Jalen Moore. I don't think there's a spot for him. They may be able to keep him on their practice squad, but I think he's out. Also, Dante Johnson, the guy's always in the team. I don't know. Jordan Willis. Are those guys high profile? Maybe Jason Verrett if he doesn't show anything.
Jason Verrett's interesting. I think Verrett will make it. I'll tell you the one that I'm kind of worried about, and we've already kind of hit on it. I think if he doesn't fire, I don't think Aaron Banks is on this team. I think Aaron Banks is only on this team as a starter. He's a starter at left guard, or he's traded, or he won't be cut because he's too high of a pick, but he'd be traded for like a day 3 pick. That would not shock me.
That makes sense. Pedro Paulo says, Colin, the herd. Jimmy Garoppolo is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Also, Colin about Lance. I hate when people try to oversell a player. WTF. Yeah, me too, Colin. What are you talking about? The most underrated player in the NFL? It's gotten out of hand. This has gotten out of hand.
I mean, I know everybody likes him, but he does. How do you call a guy who makes the same mistake over and over and over again? And in the biggest game of his year last year, couldn't get 1 first down in the two biggest sequences, 2 biggest series of with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. How did he play those final 2 series? Horrendous. In the Super Bowl against Kansas City, how did he play? Horrendous.
I mean, I think it's fair to point out, like, he has a very good completion percentage career, 67.7. His yards per attempt is very high, 8.4. But that stuff is largely attributed to the system he's been in and the supporting cast he's had. What's crazy for a quarterback who's had this kind of like statistical success, 71 touchdown, 38 picks in his career, not even 2-1. That really shows you how overrated he is. Despite all the players he's played with and the coaches he's had, you can't even get to 2-1.
First of all, I mean, what I would say to Colin Cowherd is, so Colin, let's review your statement. He's the most underrated player in the NFL. Quarterback is far and away the most valuable position in the NFL. And you're saying that the most underrated player in the NFL happens to be a quarterback, and he was available. And yet every team in the NFL didn't want the most underrated player in the entire league at the most valuable position.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why camp should have started 3 weeks ago, because all this talk is just a bunch of bullshit.
Thank you, Larry.
Seriously.
Thank you. That was
Stop
very well
talking.
Put. That was very well put.